Well, hello there, I'm Emrys from cruiselive.com. I hope you're all doing very well indeed. Well, the news many had been waiting for has finally arrived, and I think you all know what it is. We've had a busy week of cruise news, and as expected, protocols have started to ease even further. Carnival Cruise Line has finally announced it will open up to unvaccinated guests, which we will get into a little bit later on. Princess Cruises is dropping the vaccine mandate for most sailings, Royal Caribbean is dropping the vaccine requirements from select homeports, and pre-cruise testing is being dropped by 2 more Carnival-owned brands. We've also got the latest developments on the Rockslide in Skagway, Alaska, which is impacting cruises, and we've got news coverage on more cruise cancellations due to staff shortages. Wow, we've got lots to update you on, so your cruise news update begins now. We start with the breaking news from Princess Cruises, which announced on Friday that it's removing the vaccine requirement for most sailings and eliminating pre-cruise testing for vaccinated guests. So starting September 6, 2022, vaccinated guests sailing on a cruise of fewer than 16 days in length will no longer have to test before boarding. They just need to upload proof of their vaccination on the Ocean Ready app. Unvaccinated guests or those who do not provide proof of vaccination on those itineraries will only need to self-test within 3 days of sailing and upload evidence of a negative test result before boarding to the Ocean Ready app. The new guidelines are for all sailings where government requirements allow the cruise line to implement these guidelines. The exceptions are cruises sailing to and or from Canada, Greece and Australia. In the past week, Royal Caribbean announced a further easing of its protocols by dropping the vaccine requirements on select sailings from September 5th, 2022. This easing applies to departures out of Los Angeles in California, Galveston in Texas, New Orleans in Louisiana, and even cruises in Europe. This now means that regardless of vaccination status, guests can cruise on the select sailings as long as they meet any testing requirements. For cruises out of Galveston and New Orleans that visit Grand Cayman, only passengers that show a valid vaccination record can go ashore. When it comes to the select European cruises, unvaccinated guests will have to take a test on board to be allowed ashore in Greece or Spain. Guests will still need to follow the pre-cruise testing requirements. So for departures 5 nights or less out of Los Angeles and Galveston, unvaccinated guests aged 2 and over must show a negative test result to sail. Vaccinated guests, regardless of age, no longer need to test for the shorter sailings. When it comes to cruises that are 6 nights or more, all guests aged 2 and over must present a negative test result taken within 3 days before departure. Testing requirements for sailings in Europe are unchanged. Royal Caribbean is finalising the testing for departures out of New Orleans. What's notably missing are Eastern Caribbean cruises. Royal Caribbean said it was working with local governments in the Eastern Caribbean to align vaccination requirements for more itineraries. So folks, do keep an eye out as further changes could be on the way soon. Princess Cruises has been forced to cancel a limited number of voyages for the Diamond Princess cruise ship, which includes departures out of San Diego, California. It comes as the cruise line is dealing with labour shortages while occupancy levels rise across its ships. It does mean that the cruise line has cancelled a total of 11 voyages for the Diamond Princess out of San Diego from September 1st, 2022 through to November 13th, 2022. Princess wants to make sure the guest experience on board remains exceptional, and by cancelling the voyages, it allows more time to increase the crew levels. The good news is impacted guests have the option for a replacement voyage departing in 2022 or 2023, but departing out of Los Angeles, California rather than San Diego, and of course on an alternative cruise ship. The vessel has already been on pause for more than 2 years, and before the announced cancellations, the ship was scheduled to resume sailings with guests on September 1st, 2022 from San Diego. This included that first 5-night voyage with visits to San Francisco in California and Ensenada in Mexico. The ship's first return voyage will now depart San Diego on November 13th on a 7-night itinerary. Just before we do continue, we've still got 3 more massive cruise news stories to let you know about, including about a rock slide in Skagway, an update from Carnival, and changes for 2 cruise lines. Now I know you like cruise news and want to keep up to date on everything, so please like the video and of course hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more updates from Cruise Hive. Alright, we continue with another rock slide adjacent to the popular White Pass Railroad dock in Skagway, Alaska, which has caused damage and led to the full closure of the dock, which is expected to remain closed for the rest of the 2022 sailing season. The most recent rock slide was on Friday, August 5th, following a slide just 2 days earlier on August 3rd. Both rock slides caused damage to the White Pass Railroad dock, and the later slide caused significant damage to shipping containers placed along the length of the dock. With just 2 months remaining in the Alaska cruise season, Princess Cruises is removing Skagway from 10 upcoming itineraries. This is due to the closure of the forward berth of the White Pass Railroad dock, the only viable docking position for the cruise line's Royal Class vessels, the larger ships in the Princess Cruises fleet. So rather than calling in Skagway, each cruise will instead substitute a different Alaskan port of call. The impacted cruises include the Majestic Princess, which will call at Icy Strait Point. Also, the line's new ship, Discovery Princess, will be doing the same. Royal Princess will now visit Haines instead of Skagway for the August 16th and August 30th sailings. Discovery Princess will visit Sitka rather than Skagway on the cruises setting sail on August 11th, September 8th and September 22nd, as will the Royal Princess cruise setting sail on September 13th. Well, we've got all the specific dates for all of those ships over on cruisehive.com. It has been a long-awaited day for multiple Carnival-owned cruise brands, including Carnival Cruise Line, which will drop requirements on sailings. Starting from departures on September 6, 2022, vaccinated guests no longer have to undergo a pre-cruise test to sail. However, guests will still need to show proof that they are fully vaccinated. Carnival is also making a major change to its vaccine requirements. This is the big one because Carnival will open up cruises to more guests. Unvaccinated guests will be allowed to cruise and will no longer be required to show proof of vaccination before a cruise. However, this does not apply to sailings in Australia or on voyages 16 nights and longer. Unvaccinated guests or those who choose not to show vaccination proof will still need a negative PCR or antigen test result taken within 3 days before departure. Carnival also says that for those guests that do have a pending vaccine exemption application and waiting for a response, that booking is confirmed as long as the cruise is departing on or after September 6th and does not visit Canada, Bermuda, Australia, or if the voyage is 16 nights and longer. Well, that day has arrived. Carnival is dropping the vaccine mandate. Do let us know what you think about this in the comments below. Cunard Line and P&O Cruises are easing their requirements for sailings from September 6, 2022, but only on shorter sailings where government regulations permit. In some embarkation ports, stricter local guidelines will still apply. So for both lines, testing for fully vaccinated passengers will become highly recommended rather than required as of Tuesday, September 6. Only on longer, more complex sailings will guests still be required to present a negative antigen or PCR test to be permitted to board. While exact details on what constitutes a complex sailing have not yet been clarified, the stricter requirements are likely to apply to itineraries 16 nights or longer, as well as certain holiday sailings. Regions with stricter local protocols at this time, including Canada and Australia, still require testing, and guests booked on those sailings will be notified about their exact requirements for cruise travel. To continue ensuring the health and well-being of guests and crew, both Cunard and P&O cruises still require all guests aged 16 and older to be fully vaccinated at least 14 days before embarkation. Crew members will also continue to be fully vaccinated and tested regularly. Well, we will have more updates on that. No doubt it'll just be a matter of time until those two cruise lines, which is owned by Carnival, will drop the vaccine mandate. Keep checking over on cruiseside.com. Well, it wasn't just a busy week of cruise news, but also an important one with all the easing of requirements. We've also got other news stories that may interest you, including a port cancellation for a Norwegian Cruise Line ship, Disney Cruise Line on the road to recovery, mainly due to its newer ship, a business update from Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, a major milestone for Carnival Cruise Line. Virgin Voyages is shortening port times on itineraries, plenty of investments happening at the port of Galveston in Texas for cruises, and we've got loads more cruise news all over on cruiseside.com, of course. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch the video. Don't forget to post a comment down below to let us know what you think on any of the news stories. And of course, while you're at it, do like the video and subscribe to the Cruise Hive YouTube channel. I'm Emrys from cruiseside.com. Thanks again everyone for your time, and I'll see you all soon.